Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, aka your friendly neighbourhood spoiler man, and now that Spider-Man is officially back in the MCU, I thought I'd break down the terms and conditions of the new contract. Who doesn't enjoy reading terms and conditions? Anyway, there's a lot to unpack from the new deal update, and quite a big hint that this will be the moment that Disney connects Venom to their cinematic universe. Throughout this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about the upcoming films, and if you want to keep up to date with all of the breaking news surrounding the situation, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Anyway, thanks for clicking this video. Now let's get into our breakdown. Okay, so during all of the prior Spider-Man films, Sony financed Disney to make the movies, and from this, Disney received a 5% split of the profit share. Disney were allowed to use the character in their crossover events, and also gain merchandising rights. However, once the contract was up, Disney reportedly wanted to renegotiate the terms of the deal, and together they would co-finance the films with Sony in return for a 50-50 split on the revenue. This caused everything to collapse on a scale worse than Thanos wiping out 50% of all life in the universe, and for the last month it's been pretty up and down being a Spider-Man fan. Now, there have been several sources reporting that negotiations were still ongoing, and this turned out to be true when yesterday Sony and Disney both announced that going forward they will be working on a third film in the Spider-Man trilogy, as well as a crossover movie starring the Wallcrawler. The former of these will be released on July 16th, 2021 and will officially be part of the Phase 4 slate. The deal that will be in place will almost be identical to the prior one, however instead of 5%, Disney will now co-finance the film and take 25% from the overall profit. Now, if you've been staying up to date with the channel, you'll know that we reported that Sony would let Disney continue to use the character, but that Venom also had to be taken into the MCU alongside the webhead. Whilst there hasn't been any official statements in regards to this, it was heavily hinted at yesterday when Marvel Studios CEO Kevin Feige stated the following: "I am thrilled that Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and I and all of us at Marvel Studios are very excited that we get to keep working on it. Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and audiences around the globe. He also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes, so as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold." Now, to me, this pretty much highlights that Venom will be connected to the MCU in some form or another. Sony are of course in pre-production on Venom 2 at the moment, as well as their Morbius movie, and after the announcement of several other films earlier in the week, it seems likely that the Sony slate will be interweaved with some of the upcoming movies. Now, we do know from reports from Collider that Tom Holland did originally shoot a cameo for Venom, however Disney asked the studio to remove it and they did. Now, we never got an official statement on this, but personally I believe that this was probably done because the character was dead in Infinity War, which would have led to a lot of confusion with him popping up in Venom. Going forward though, I can see this going ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised if Holland and Hardy do cross paths at certain points. Infamous Spoilerman himself, Mikey Sutton, has been one of the main voices saying that negotiations were ongoing this entire time, and the Scoop Master himself posted the following yesterday: "The deal is done just as I said it would, whilst countless rage-bait comic book sites and YouTube shows drank the Sony Kool-Aid and thought the door was shut. As I said, the door wasn't closed, it was still open. Sony did the takeaway just like I had reported and lost." Right now, Sony is trying to present themselves as victors, and they're sourcing to mainstream reporters that Marvel Studios caved in last night. The 25% take from Disney wasn't what Sony wanted, they wanted to keep it at 5% if you recall. The resulting compromise shows which side won. Disney and Sony did a short-term contract for now because of time limitations. They needed to sign Jon Watts for Spider-Man 3 immediately, and Disney insiders tell me that he was willing to walk away if the next movie wasn't set in the MCU to pick up where Far From Home left off. It's no coincidence that it's being revealed today that Watts is in final negotiations. Remember my leak about Disney offering Nova to Watts, which would pull him away from the next Spider-Man? Completely gangster, yes. Did it work? I'm guessing that Mikey means that it did work because obviously we've seen the situation today. And next he goes on to explain how Spider-Man may appear in the future. Marvel Studios is seeking to have Tom Holland appear in Secret Wars. Whether this is the non-Spidey MCU film and the agreement signed by both parties last night remains to be seen, but there is no doubt by anyone on the Marvel side that Spider-Man will be in Secret Wars. Not only that, but Marvel Studios is planning on having Spider-Man in a supporting role for the Fantastic Four, as Reed Richards can be Peter Parker's new mentor. This is only the beginning. As I discussed from the beginning, the collaboration is too big to toss away. There are discussions of Disney and Sony sharing a cinematic universe, an expanded Spider-Verse if you will, of specific IPs guesting in each other's films, but right now it's time for a victory lap. Your fly in the ointment, Mikey Sutton. This is of course really interesting, as one of Spider-Man's first major appearances was in the Fantastic Four, and it makes a lot of sense for him to team up with Marvel's first family. I completely agree with Sutton that the collaboration is too big to cast aside, and whilst we only have 2 films officially announced for the webhead, I think that going forward there will be much more, as Sony have seen how the situation could play out due to the fan backlash online. We have had rumours for several months that Secret Wars will be the next Avengers movie, and if that is the case, then this could easily be where Venom is introduced, similar to the comic arc. Whilst there are 2 comic series in Marvel called Secret Wars, I can see the studio doing what they normally do for the films, which is to have certain elements from prior comics crafted into a new storyline. Obviously, this is all a theory at the moment, but it makes sense for Marvel to tie their universe together with Sony, so going forward it becomes more difficult to separate the 2 entities. Either way, I'm glad the 2 sides have worked this out, and now we know what it's like to lose the webhead for a bit. We won't want the 2 studios to separate ever again. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire thing, so make sure you leave them in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it, and make sure you check out my initial reaction to the announcement, which will be linked at the end. It's been a crazy month, so make sure you check that out if you want something else to watch after this. If you want to come chat to me about movies, TV shows, games and comic books, then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DefinitionYT. It's the best way to get in touch with me, and it's the perfect place to suggest new videos and content, so hopefully I'll see you over there after this. Also, just want to let you know that we're currently giving away a free copy of Spider-Man Far From Home on Blu-ray, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is to like this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on the Sony Disney deal in the comments section below. The winner will be chosen at random on October the 15th, and the Blu-ray will be shipped out from then to forget the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.